This is part 3 of It's Never Your Fault, my story of surviving incest. So I'm just gonna keep going with it because this is some pretty tough stuff. So instead of breaking this up into a second day, I'm just gonna keep going. So I'm in the living room at my uncle's home, and he had just gone into his bedroom. And he asked if I was going to sleep in there, to which I did not reply at all. To my non-reply, he then says, "Bring me those magazines in there in the kitchen," talking about the gay magazines that I had bought earlier that day. When he said that, a level of terror and fear waved over my body. Because this is the moment that I knew was coming. What are we going to talk about? Why are you so concerned about my magazines? Like, why do we have to talk about it in your bedroom? It was just, when I tell you, I knew. I knew deep down what was about to happen to me. And I did not know how to stop it. My uncle lived in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't anyone around for miles. My uncle was about 6'8". My uncle was also a retired Marine. I've often asked myself, why didn't I fight back and why did I not run? And the answer to that is, there was nowhere to run, and I didn't know if my uncle was going to harm me. He had never shown any signs in the past that he would harm me, but he had also never shown signs in the past that he was gonna do what he was about to do to me. He asked for my magazines, and he said it in a stern voice in a way where I felt as if I had no choice. Mind you, I'm still a kid. So I get up and I get the magazines, and I walked him to his room, and he's in the bed with the light on, and I toss them to him, and I walk right back out the room. He then says, "It's time to go to bed. Where are you going?" Where am I going? I gotta take the dogs out. Chewbacca and Fiskig, they gotta go out. He says, okay, and I take the dogs on the longest pee I think I can imagine. Again, it's pitch black. I can't see anything. In my mind, I'm like, what if can I run someplace? If what I think is gonna happen is gonna happen, can I go where? Where and what can I do so this does not happen? And nothing came to me. Nothing came. I bring my dogs inside, and I stay in the living room for as long as possible. After a while, my uncle had heard that I came back into the house, and with a very stern voice said, "Cut off the TV, it's time for bed." My defense was, I gotta take care of these dogs. Like, they whine in the kennel, so I have to be close to them. And he says to me, "Bring the dogs in here. You can keep them in the kennel." At this moment, I know that I have no more excuses. I have nothing at all in my mind keeping me out of his bed. So I take my dogs in their kennel and I go into my uncle's bedroom. The last thing that I can think to do is say that I have to go to the restroom. And I do. I go into the restroom, and the first thing that I do is I drop to my knees and I pray. I said, God, I know what's about to happen to me. I feel it. I feel something, and it's not right. But if what I'm thinking is about to happen, I ask you, God, to stop it. However, whatever, please save me from what I think is about to happen to me. I prayed, I think the hardest I've ever prayed my entire life. And my prayer was answered by my name being screamed by my uncle. So I went to bed, in his bed. I lay down in his bed, and I remember it being a large bed. He was a big guy. And if he's on this side, I'm as far away as I possibly can be. I am literally hanging off the side of the bed with my arm inside my dog's kennel, pretending to comfort him, although my dog is comforting me because I know what's about to happen. The details that come next are a bit choppy. And through therapy, through a lot of inner healing and inner search and understanding of how our bodies work and how nature works, I've learned that when traumatic things happen to us, sometimes we shut down. When that level of fear or trauma is so extreme and so high, our bodies literally freeze to protect us from that moment. I have learned through therapy that moments in nature, when a lion is about to kill a gazelle, the gazelle freezes and stops to not feel anything and disconnect. That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what my body did. And I thank God for therapy to explain all this weird, chaotic, nasty, disgusting, hurtful shit that I've had to go through and deal with. Thank God that there's a solution and people out here that know what a trauma response is, that know why we react the way that we do. I remember taking my arm from my dog and rolling over in the bed. And it was like my body detached from itself. I was in the room. I was even saying in my head, God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please. But I didn't feel anything. Being as least graphic as I can possibly be, I was the person that was entered. And that caused a lot of physical disruption to my body. And I'm going to pause here.